Britain's planning to spend nearly £160 billion over 10 years on new military equipment. A large chunk of the money will go towards a new class of nuclear submarine, where the project faces serious problems. The sub's nuclear reactor malfunctions and it floods when underwater. RT's Sarah Firth reports on the high-tech weaponry, which is far from state-of-the-art.
The cutting edge in military technology.
She's as complex as a spacecraft.
Over a decade and tens of billions of pounds in the making, these are Britain's new class of hunter-killer submarines, and they've been making waves.
The lead boat, Astute, was beset with a series of problems, from groundings to lack of facilities working, corrosion. This is a jinxed boat, the Astute, and a jinxed class.
The damning description is a far cry from what Britain's Ministry of Defence had hailed as one of the most technologically advanced machines in the world. As impressive as she sounded on paper, the Astute's launch into the public sphere has not been an easy one. In a series of leaked intelligence, it's become clear that Astute's problems could run far deeper.
The problem you've got is that, if you like, with this Astute-class submarine, the design started in the mid-90s. A lot of it is electronics. Now, you know the way electronics goes along. Right? Electronics sort of develops at almost an exponential rate. With all the electronics you've got on board a submarine at the present time, to try and keep up with that, then you need to think about replacing equipment almost before the submarine is complete.
The problem with it, of course, is she's so highly sophisticated now that simple things become big problems, I guess, on board.
In the northeast of England, and Barrow-in-Furness is now the only site in the UK that designs, builds and tests submarines. And that work forms the backbone of the economy here. The current owner of the shipyard is BAE Defence Systems. Not without its critics, it's a company that shrouds itself in secrecy. And it didn't disappoint when it came to addressing the alleged catalogue of errors. With the Astute submarine programme having been beset by these design flaw allegations, we asked BAE to give us their side of the story, but they declined to comment. It's perhaps no surprise. With a government order of 7 Astute-class submarines, only 2 are in the water, with 1 still being built. So Amy, one of the things that has become quite apparent, obviously the people who live here in Barrow, very protective of the subs, and you approach BAE with any of the kind of queries about the problems, and there's a sort of lockdown on information. Have you found that difficult?
It is difficult, but you come to expect it and understand it, and there's a distinction between the protectiveness and secretiveness of local people compared to the secretiveness of the company. And that's because in terms of the local people and Barrow people, they're protective of it because this is their heritage, this is their history. Mm-hmm. And from BAE's perspective, you understand that they are being like that because for commercial reasons. That's the reason they're like that. They're being paid X amount of money to build and design something.
The local pride here in the Astute submarines is evident.
I think they're super.
But even the Ministry of Defence has been forced into embarrassing admissions about what they've termed teething troubles.
Now, the MOD really has to stand back and say, do we continue producing this class of submarines, or do we stop, get it right, and then start again? The problem here is this, is if they stop, the Royal Navy becomes short of attack submarine flotilla. And that means its strategy, it can't fulfill its strategy. So it really is quite serious.
With the launch of the 3rd Astute-class submarine still some way off, the next couple of years for this project could prove sink or swim time. Sarah Firth, RT, Barrow-in-Furness in the north of England.